Okay, we're gonna open session at 6:01. And I'll start with public comments. At this time, any person may address the board on any subject within the district's jurisdiction which is not on the agenda. However, any non-agenda matter will be referred to staff for a report or action at a subsequent board meeting, and no action can be taken on any such item discussed unless action has been authorized under the government code. Any person may also address the board on any agenda matter at this time that matter is discussed prior to board consideration and action. Speakers are requested to limit comments to 3 minutes. Now, I'd like to remind the public, although you may address the board on any subject within the district's jurisdiction at this time, if you are here to make comments concerning the rate increase, the appropriate time to do so is during the public hearing portion of the meeting. That'll be item number 3, receipt of public testimony. Thank you. Voluntary public roll call via teleconference. If any member of the public on the teleconference wishes to identify themselves in person for this meeting, please do so now for the record. Okay, there's no one. Okay, we'll move to consent calendar. CC1, review of the check voucher register dated March 17th, 2026 through April 13th, 2026. Payroll direct deposit dated March 25th, 2026. Payroll checks dated March 25th, 2026. Payroll direct deposit dated April 8th, 2026. Payroll checks dated April 8th, 2026. Motion to approve consent calendar. I'll move. Motion by Director Glennon. Second by Vice President Wood. Any discussion?
Excuse me, President Washington, you might want to include the minutes as well. Group of minutes.
Okay, along with the consent calendar.
Right.
Okay, we'll go over minutes 1 through 4. That would be the February 26th Personnel Committee meeting minutes, as well as the February 26th Policy Committee meeting minutes, as well as the March 5th, 2026 Finance Committee meeting minutes, and the March 5th, 2026 Wastewater Committee meeting minutes. Motion to approve CC1 as well as M1 through M4.
I'll add that to my motion.
Okay,
I'll add it to my second.
all right. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Measure moves 5-0. Public hearing. Proposition 218 hearing to consider adopting resolution numbers 2026-02, establishing water rates for water service fees, and 2026-03, establishing rates for sewer service fees. I'd like to open up the public hearing at 6:05 p.m. I'd like to ask you, Kim and Sherry, have the public hearing notices been mailed as required by law?
Yes, Dad.
Okay. Okay, we'll start with introduction and presentation from rate study consultant Anthony Alowski. Mr. Alowski is a project manager analyst for Robert D. Niehaus Incorporated. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President, and the rest of the board. Thanks for taking time for this important matter tonight. First off, I want to thank the staff that assisted getting through this rate study process. They were very integral in getting us to the point where we are today, which is providing the Proposition 218 and the compliant rates There was a long study process to get us here. We have provided the report, the notices, and tonight is the final step, which is the adoption of these rates. I do have a brief presentation. The presentation goes over the steps and the results of the rate study. Most of the board is familiar with this information. This is mostly for the public. So, but if you do have any questions, feel free to stop me during the presentation, or we can hold questions at the end if you prefer, but I'm available to answer any questions either way.
Give one moment,
Give me one moment. Thought about saying President Washington. I was like, I wasn't sure if it'll work out or not.
Think about that sometime.
Yeah. Great. So, next slide. We'll just go through the agenda. For those of you who are not familiar with the process of Proposition 218, I did include a brief description of Proposition 218. Then we're going to look at the final financial plans for the water and the sewer utility, show the rates, and then again, this is pretty brief. So if you want elaboration on anything, feel free to stop me. Look at the impacts of those rates on different types of customers within the district, and then show a comparison of rates with other local agencies so you can see how the district's current and proposed rates match up with other agencies in the area. Proposition 218 was ratified in 1996. It's called the Right to Protest Taxes Law. Basically, it gives customers or constituents the right to protest any additional fee that's property related. Water and sewer rates are considered property related fees. So you have to have a certain process to go through. You can't just implement rates. You have to actually go through a process which includes a hearing. The hearing has to have notices which are sent 45 days before the hearing date. Protests can be submitted in writing till the end of the hearing. Those notices or the protests have to be tabulated. If there are 50% plus one protests, then the rates cannot be implemented at that time. So Proposition 218 protects customers from what they believe would be capricious or extreme rate increases. Additionally, customers rates have to be cost-based, so customers can't pay more than their fair share of the costs, and the costs have to be based on the actual cost of the district. So the district cannot make a profit, and no single customer can pay more than their fair share of those costs that are incurred by the district. Next slide. We did develop these financial plans for a period of 10 years, but we are implementing a rate study of 5 years. So we look at the performance of the district over this 5-year period. Water and sewer utilities are actually enterprise funds, so they have to be all be self-sufficient. You cannot have water rates fund the sewer utility and vice versa. So each of these financial plans is separate, and you'll see how that plays out as far as the revenues are concerned. Next slide. For the water utility, we did propose revenue adjustments for the next 5 years of 3%. You can see on the chart that's shown there, the bars are the district's expenses. The orange part of the bar are the operating expenses. The yellow part are the debt service payments that the district makes annually. And the green parts are the capital expenditures that are annually planned for the district over the next 5-year span. Next slide, please. With the adjustments that we're proposing, the district will reach its reserve target at the end of that 5-year period with the 3% adjustments that we're recommending. Next slide. The sewer financial plan. Additionally, we show the revenues and expenses on the next slide. The district does have significant capital expenditures that are planned over the next couple of years. So we are recommending annual revenue adjustment of approximately 2% per year for the sewer utility. That's the green line versus the red line in this graph. So you can see that we're slightly increasing revenues through time to ensure that, next slide, we maintain the required reserve target. Thank you. So the rates themselves, we also did make some recommendations on the rate structure. There have been some recent clarifications in California courts about how to properly chart each type of customer based on their service requirements. So in the next, we do make some changes. One of the changes that we recommend for the water rates is to combine all of the customer classes into a single customer class to ensure that all customers are paying the same amount for the same services that they receive. There are some differences, and we talk about those based on the different meter sizes, for example, and the amount of water that's being used. Those costs are actually accrued based on the size and the capacity of that meter. So while currently there are 3 different customer classes, residential, commercial 1, and commercial 2, those are all going to be one customer class to ensure that no customer class is subsidizing another. One thing to note, these are monthly fixed charges that are shown on this chart, but the district does bill all the fixed charges on the annual tax roll. So these are not actually billed monthly to customers that are paying the bill. They see it at the end of the year on their tax roll. Next slide, please. Similarly, we did look at a couple different options for variable rates. Option 2 was the one that was chosen by the board, which includes 3 different tiers of water use. This is to ensure that customers that have low water use are not paying for the higher costs for that water that is needed for things like the peak averages. Again, currently there's 3 different rate structures for the 3 different types of customer classes. This is going to be instead into one customer class with all of the same variable rates and the same tier widths. Next slide, please. For the sewer rates, again, these are going to increase approximately 2% per year, but we maintain the customer classes in this case because for sewer rates, the definition of how the sewer costs are allocated is based on the actual strength of sewer. It actually costs more for higher strength sewer cost flow to be treated at the district sewer treatment plant. So it costs for commercial 2 customers, for example, for their variable charge is higher because it actually costs more to treat their sewer. Again, the fixed charges are billed annually on the tax roll, and the variable charges are what a customer will see based on their water use on the monthly bill. Next slide, please. So we did look at a few different types of customers. This would be a residential customer with a 5/8 inch meter. The left chart shows a few different types of customers. The winter average water use for a 5/8 inch meter size is 11 HCF. The gray bar shows the current rates, and the blue bar shows the proposed rates. In each of the cases we're showing in the left chart, you can actually see that the rates for those customers will go down, both at the winter average, the annual average, and the summer peak. That's because we did take pains to ensure that that lowest tier only included the costs that were being accrued at the lowest use level. So unless customers of this 5/8 inch meter use excessive amounts of water, they will see a negative impact. They will see less of a bill each year. The right chart shows the combined water and sewer bill. It approximately goes down about $9 per month if you average out the months of the year. Next slide.
Is that a monthly bill?
Yes.
No, go back to the.
That's including, that's water usage, actual water usage, but the actual rate or the actual baseline is going up. So it'll go up over $10. So the savings you're not going to see.
So here's a question. Monthly, my water bill up like $8 a month, and that's my water. So based off of this, if I pay $8 a month in water usage alone, what would it be with this?
$8 a month of the current rate sounds about 400 cubic feet that would use. That would go down to approximately $6.
So instead of paying 8, I would be paying $6?
Correct. And then the annual charge includes the fixed charges.
No, the water is what, we pay monthly. This is not property tax, right?
These actually include both the property tax and the water use if you average it out over a year. This would be a monthly bill if you took all of the payments throughout a year.
So this is not, so this is the tax to the property tax?
Part of it is.
Part of it.
Right.
So the property tax would go up more?
The property tax portion of it does go, the fixed charge does go up slightly.
On the water side.
And the
Sewer side actually goes down.
goes down.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot it at home, I left it at home, I'm sorry.
No problem.
So I didn't have it with me.
No problem. Happy for any questions. So the next customer that we show, and again, this is a similar, so this would be if the total annual bill, which includes the fixed and the variable rate, was shown as a monthly bill. For a commercial one customer, they would also have a lower monthly bill for each their water use categories, the winter average and summer peak. Again, excessive water use, when you get into the highest tier of water use, that's when you start to see customers who will have a higher bill under the proposed rate. Similarly, for the combined, the water and sewer bill, that would still go down about $20 per month. Again, assuming the annual payments based on that average water use. On the other hand, commercial 2 customers who are benefiting from wider tiers under the previous rate structure will now have the same tiered rate structure as all the other customers. So you can see at their summer peak use, they're actually going to have a higher bill under their water use. And for their combined bill, they will actually have an increase as well. And that takes into account the fact that that tier width is the same as all the other customers, and they're paying for their specific costs under each of those usage tiers. Finally, we wanted to show a comparison with other local agencies. The colors didn't turn out so great on this projection. I'm sorry. The current rates are the light pink, 102.58 for an average customer. And those would go down to 91.53 under the proposed rate structure. Same thing, these are combined if you looked at the annual fixed charge divided by 12 months and the monthly water use of 14 HCF. So currently, Rosamond is the third from the top. That will go down. Other agencies in the area, Palmdale Water District specifically, has some significant increases over the next few years, as well as the Quartz Hill Water District has approved a 5-year rate increase that's pretty significant over the next 5 years.
Are these their proposed rates or their current?
Those are the current ones.
So theirs are a lot lower than ours.
For example, Palmdale Water District is already or slightly lower than your current rates. Under the proposed rate structure, you will go below those rates, and theirs are going up at a much higher pace.
Talking about Quartz Hill and
Their bills are very low.
I mean, it's still a.
Well, this is normalized too, so we're comparing apples to apples. This would be a monthly bill.
So how do they keep theirs so low and ours are high?
Again, the Quartz Hill Water District does have some significant increases coming up in the next 5 years. They just completed a rate study and adopted the rate structure. But over time, and it's hard to compare districts specifically, there's different capital needs. Some infrastructure in districts is older than other districts. There are a lot of differences in water supplies. So for example, the Palmdale Water District, I know pretty firsthand, I worked on a study. They're completing a very large recycled water project to And that's gonna be hundreds of millions of dollars that they're planning to fund through rates and debt.
Another point I was told 10 years ago was, as we had more customers, our rates would level off or go down because we had more properties to spread the fixed cost over. And I'm not seeing that happen. Because we're getting more housing now.
They also said if we put it on our property tax, the rates will not go up.
Yeah,
But I can't speak to the history, but for example, SCV Water is a much larger agency. SCV Water, that's the Santa Clarita Valley Water Agency, that's
Talking right now. Is that much bigger?
through the County Waterworks District, so they have different ways that they apportion costs. So that one, for example, a lot of the administrative costs are covered through the Waterworks District, and it's split among all the different small waterworks districts. And so they're able to share those costs among a lot larger group of people.
so that one table that they have, that they distribute to this place and this place and that place, everyone gets to pay something different because for the water consumption that they are taking, is that correct?
I'm not sure that I understand the question.
Like, Fort Hill's small.
Correct.
They have a lot of individuals.
Right.
So the water consumption that they're gonna be receiving from that table is gonna be of a lesser amount, correct? And then therefore, their rates couldn't go up, they should actually drop if everything else is dropped.
So there is a lot of fixed costs that are included within a utility. They include salaries, the day-to-day things that you would have to do whether people consume water or not. Those are the things that have to be split among all those customers. So in a situation where you have a lot more, those costs can be split in smaller amounts to all the customers. In a smaller district, those have to be split up between a smaller number of customers, and especially large capital projects, which funding large replacements or repairs, you have to consider the amount of customers that
So
are in the
it's the
system.
amount plus the, yeah,
Exactly.
okay, awesome, thank you. Hope I didn't confuse you.
No, just wanted to make sure I was answering the correct question. And then any questions from the board?
No questions?
No, so you said that the cost and the hot air, it can't be, you can't increase or make profit. So what is included when you guys do your study of why the rates are where they are, where the fixed rate charge? So what is included in that, so you're saying that the profit is not sustainable?
So if we look at a 10-year planning horizon, the major inputs are the operating expenses. That includes the procurement of water, which is typically a variable charge, so that probably isn't in the tax part of it. All the salaries, all the repair and replacement, all the maintenance, all of the equipment that the utility uses to maintain the system, that would be in the fixed portion. Additionally, in the fixed portion is debt service. So there is some outstanding payments that are made to debt that was prior taken by the district to do infrastructure repairs. Additionally, the capital expenditures is the major thing. So when capital expenditures need to happen, either that funds have to come from debt, which is one way to do it, or through reserve funding.
I've been living here quite some time, even when the water company was over there down by the Chevron gas station. When it was over there, our water rates averaged about $20 a month. That includes sewage, line, and everything. As soon as they moved over here, and we adapted this little process you guys do every 5 years, every 5-6 years, this is automatic. It's an automatic increase. And before, more people used to show up. But now nobody shows up because we fall on deaf ears. So I haven't been here in 10 years. I couldn't come much to the EY during the time. The only thing is, I see the same air damage, so I wonder why you guys keep coming back. Because I don't see anything really coming. I see one new member here, and everybody else has been here pretty much since I remember. And we still get all these costs incurred on this. It's like an automatic increase. Every 5 years, we'll just see an increase, and you might as well just count on it unless we want to move.
So I want to make a couple of comments on this, and then I think that if that sounds more like a public comments rather than a question.
Right, yeah.
The comments I want to make is the reason that they touch base at least every 5 years is because, again, they want input from the public. And through this Proposition 218 process, it increases the transparency because you get the notice. You're able to see if there was enough people that were angry about it, they would send protests in. So there is that possibility.
But most people, they don't even look at that. They go in the trash.
I can't speak to that one way or the other. I definitely protested the increases in my town when they came around.
Well,
I understand that side of it.
Hear anything from anybody is when their house payments go up. I hear it at work based all the time. I know people in the military have moved away from here because of this. I know people who live in Rosemont, they moved out of Rosemont because of this.
Well, I would just say the final comment that I'd like to make before we get into the public comment part is that the increases that we're recommending are 3% per year for the water utility and 2% per year for the sewer utility. So that's far below what we projected actually was the inflation during this period.
Increase the almost double the sewage, just for example. Or if you use 4 units of water, before it was like 52 cents, now it's going up to 91 cents.
Yeah.
So I can speak to the math a little bit, but those are the way the costs are broken down.
That's more than 2%,
Right.
correct?
But the total rate that would be paid throughout the year would be around that 2%.
Around, but now you said 2%, now you're saying around.
It just depends on how much water you use. So I can't say definitively that your specific increase would be based, the overall increase is the 2%. And so again, we projected close to 4% inflation over the next 10 years per year. This stays below that, and that's because the board on previous rate hearings have made it a point to maintain a sufficient reserve level. So there isn't an emergency which happens, which necessitates a really, really large increase. Well, those funds are available to do the capital projects, and we're just maintaining those balances. And so I think that's, unless there's any questions from the board.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll move to public testimony.
So,
Okay, I want to open up to public testimony. Sir, if you'd like to come to the podium and speak.
name.
Yeah.
No, because I quite a few questions. I want to go first. I can go first.
Sir, could I ask you to give us your name and address, please?
My name is Chris Silva. I live at 2111 Laurelwood Court. It's right next to the West Park School. There's, the one thing that I see here, and like I said, the water bill used to be one of my lowest bills in the whole, of everything I pay every month. Now it competes with electric. It's kind of sad. And like I said, I've known people who moved away from Rosemont just because of the water. I know people who live here and work on the base and still work on the base and moved out of Rosemont because of their water bill. And that dictates what people are doing. And I know before, we've met with the board members when we were still during COVID, and people question their water bill and they question everything back to the water bill and everything. All of you guys, pretty much the same people, deaf ears. People would say, I own the car wash in Rosemont and these things will kill my business. Okay, next. It was just like you were entertaining and letting them speak their mind, but you took no effort to understand the pain and everything that people were going through with the rates that were increasing. So it makes, like I said, we say something, but now you see they know there's no difference here. So they don't come here no more. But before, I mean, when you guys were gonna put the lights and everything on our property tax, this place was packed. The people couldn't come in here. They were outside, they couldn't even get in this office. And then you guys put a rate thing, said, never mind, we're not gonna do it today. 5 months later, you guys implemented, put out your little flyer again. Nobody came, and then you put it right back on our property tax, our bills. So I think the main reason we do it, this is what I think. You guys do it because you're hiding the bill, what the cost would be. Because if you didn't do that, people would get $150 water bill every month. And they would start questioning, why am I paying $150 for a water bill? Why am I paying $200 a month? When the average person in Lancaster or something pays $65 every other month. Because one of the guys I knew, he lived in Lancaster, and his wife, he was telling his wife, why do you take a bath every night? And then when he found out what I paid and what he paid, he goes, honey, you can take a bath every night, it's fine, no problem. It was his exact words. So people, it's a big difference from the way we live and the way they live. It's a question of what we do. But one of the things I'd like to do, I look at my property tax, and I see a lot of these charges come right back here to this office. You know, whether it's gonna be the Sunrise Funds, which is now $1,342.17.
30 seconds, sir.
And then the West Van charge that's coming off our thing. So we're paying water debt, we're paying for the sewage, we're paying everything else on our property tax to include the ones we get and the rate increases you guys give us every time. And at some point in time, I would hope you guys will start considering some of the things and why every 5 years do we get an increase every time. It never stops. Thanks.
Mr. Silver, may I have your address, please?
2111 Laurelwood Court, Rosemont.
What was the name of the street?
2111 Laurelwood.
Laurelwood. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Now I'll go.
Okay.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hi, Shira.
Hello.
Arturo was a great help with me, and so was Shelley.
Could you please state your name and address, please?
I'm
Okay.
Deborah Flanagan. I live over here at 3312 Sundance Avenue. I've been here since before the pandemic, which is one of the things I also wanted to bring up. And they were nice enough to give me the 2024-25 financial statement where that I requested. And on the June 30th, 2025 financial statement under budget versus actual comparison government activities for the year ending June 30th, 2025, the revenues for property tax is $507,639. That's what you guys are receiving from our property taxes annually. There's also special assessments that you are receiving, which is $2,118,359. Then there's interest earnings that you are receiving at $75,410. Then there's this little thing that says other income that you are receiving, which is $13,223. I looked through the financial statement. I couldn't find out what the other income under this means. So I'd like for you guys to reflect that, okay? Now, one of the things I wanted to bring up is that back in June, let's see, it was June, I got it on here. In 2020, June, we received a notice saying that that you guys were going to be putting our water and sewage onto our property taxes because of the pandemic. And it was going to be covering all different, those that couldn't pay the bill because of the pandemic. But unfortunately, you guys were also receiving a supplement from the California state for the COVID relief fund. You were receiving that money as well. And let's see, the amount I can find so far is, let's see, for Rosamond, $44,317 that you received from the state of California for the COVID relief fund.
30 seconds, ma'am.
I'm sorry?
30 seconds. You have left.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I also wanted, so is that other income still the state fund that you are receiving? And to the gentleman on the Prop 218 on section, Prop 218, Article 13D, Section 6 states that you have to give a notice of public hearing. After the public hearing, 45 days, you have to send out ballots. Did you send out ballots in regards to this rate?
No, for property-based fees, validate.
Actually for any rate, taxes and rates and property taxes considered that, so you have to send out ballots and it has to be a yes, no after a public hearing.
Utility rates fall under a special exemption that applies to property-based fees, and you don't need a ballot.
Okay, you might want to revisit Article 13D, Section 6, because I don't want you to get in trouble with the state.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Can I ask a question? How many people do we service now here in Rosemont, you guys?
Almost 19,000.
People, 10,000 people?
Mhm.
And it would be nice if we could get a mayor, so somebody else to speak on that.
Yes, Steve.
Good evening, sir. Could you please state your name and address for the record?
Simmons, and I live at 3313 John Court, right across the street. I'm an accountant, so I did some numbers myself. And if you go through the 5 years you say that are 2% for the water increase, my math comes up after 5 years, we're increased 20% from this year. That's more than 2% or 5%. I did the sewer also, and in 5 years, we're up 11.4%. That's more than your 3%. So how come my math is different than yours?
There's compounding in the annual increase, so the sewer goes up 2% per year.
Right, so that's not 2% at the end of 5 years.
2% per year.
No.
3% per year.
The water is going up 20% from this year's rate.
It's 2%.
Not the 5 years. The 6-year rate is 20%.
I think we're saying the same thing.
No, we're not. You're saying 5% over 5 years. I'm saying 20% over 5 years. And the sewer is going up 11.4% in the 5-year period. My other question is, what are the major capital expenditures that are in the budget for 5 years?
I will respond to that after.
Thank
you.
Yeah, just out of respect, sir, our general manager is capturing all of the questions and he's gonna respond to you. You're gonna get answer before you leave out of here tonight. I'll assure you.
I'd like the math answer too. How do you come up with 3 or 5 and I come up with 20 and 11?
Okay. Any more comments?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, sir.
My name is Robert Finch. I live at 2011 Candace Avenue. This is more to try to get an understanding of how all of this is built. First, I'd like to ask the question, when did we start putting on our tax revenue the billing for the waterworks and the sewage? Because the documentation that I get, except for a 3-month period, it said sewage was maximal at the very top. I'm one person. I don't flush a toilet that often. How do I pay, or was everyone paying the same amount? And for water, yes, I do have a lawn. I do have grains and everything else. But the taxes I just finished paying, that was strictly from the water district and sewage, seemed a little exorbitant to me. Water, other than the fact I was paying for water and sewage on a monthly basis, was $565. Sewage was $700 and some odd dollars. Rounded off, it was $1,300 for a year. Is everyone getting charged the same amount? I mean, if it's across the board, okay, I understand that. But I don't know who's getting charged what, because if you just go by the blankets sewage of, okay, everyone just pays and you just slice it all up to everybody. But I didn't pay attention to that much. I've gone through some serious problems in my life, including just retiring out so I don't have to deal with certain things. But it seems if how many years have we been taxing for those services on our taxes and getting a water sewage rate bill every month?
Been about 5 years since they put it on the property tax.
It started on July 1st, 2020.
Right.
So that's my only question. And the other question is this something that has to do with certain laws that our state government
30
is
seconds, sir.
imposing on us?
30 seconds, sir.
I just want to get an understanding. Because to me, when I moved to Roseland in 1990, my taxes were $1,100 and some odd dollars for that. Now, I've been here a long time. And then 15, 20 years ago, it kind of went up to 2,000 and something.
3 minutes, sir.
Sure. Now it's 3,000 and something. That's what I pay every year on my taxes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'm gonna take a second turn.
You guys want to do rounds or we'll do another round?
No, we don't.
I just wanted to bring up that the flyer that went out in regards to the proposed adding to the property tax was sent out in June of 2020. And it said that new California law was indirectly forced RCSD to notify, and that the rates, the property taxes, everything was going to be placed on our property taxes starting July 1st, 2020. So just so that you have, and yeah, it was that June 30th. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, it was a June 2020, I don't see a date, 2020 notice that was sent out to us residents. My concern is that it said a new California law has indirectly forced RCSD to modify some of the ways we collect for water and sewer services. Unfortunately, in this entire notice, no law is stated. Nothing was provided to us as to what California law that was established was informed to us, the residents. And when I went looking back into the laws that were implemented in 2019, in 2020, and 2021, there was no law about utility, water, sewage services. No law that was implemented. So if you can provide to us, the residents and the community, exactly that law, that would be greatly appreciated.
Any more public testimony? Okay, we'll close and I will have our GM respond to your questions.
Please state the time of closing.
Okay, we're closing public testimony at 6:45 p.m.
Okay, there's a couple of issues that were brought up. One is, there's a lot of comments about the fixed portion of both water and sewer, just the fixed portion that Anthony talked about being placed on the property taxes. It can't be the entire bill because we don't know how much you use every month. So that the variable portion is what gets billed to you every month. That's number one. Number two, there's been a lot of talk about the property taxes and about the decision that the board made at that time to put the fixed portion of the bill on the property taxes. And that was in response, so I wasn't here, so I'm gonna try to elaborate for the board because I've heard this reasoning. We had at one point 800 delinquencies. And our delinquency rate is now, so 800 out of 5,500 connections roughly. And our delinquency rate is now, what's on the average, Sherry?
Or shut-offs?
Yeah,
Well,
maybe 12. So, it was a lot of time, energy, and effort, and a lot of expense to go after delinquency number one. So that was that was the main reason why the board decided to make that change. The thing is that that's not what is being discussed, really, that fact, that they made that change here tonight. So the board's not making a decision on that at all tonight. The decision is the change in the rates.
But even though you're saying that there was 800 and something people delinquent and that caused the rate increases for everybody else. They've implemented that, and some of these were these same board members, and our rates have never stopped going up.
Well, and I'd love to get everybody's individual usage information, because I've actually prepared a calculator that'll show you what you currently pay and what you are going to pay when the first year the rates go in effect. And pretty much consistently, the rates are, the total cost, annual cost is actually going down.
Well, we're talking fixed rates are going up.
No, but we're also talking on the water side, you're also talking the variable rates going down. There's an offset there.
I'm more concerned about the fixed rates.
Yeah,
Sure.
fixed rates is what we're concerned about.
Well, then, so on the sewer side, the fixed rates are actually going down.
No, they're not.
Yes, actually, they are.
Look, my math shows they're going up 11.5.
No, look, I'm saying from last year to this year, they're actually going down.
Well, that's 1 year, but over the 6 years, they're going up 11.4%.
And I understand. And I think Anthony adequately responds to that question, but I do want to make that point, is that I would love to show and love to share with you what your bill is gonna look like. So I can do that after the meeting.
I've already done it for myself.
Okay,
I'm good.
so that addresses property taxes. As far as, our requirement to send, ballots out. John, can you respond to that? John's the district's attorney.
So what's the specific question then?
The specific question was the requirements of Article 13G, Section 6. The testimony from the public was that ballots are required to be sent out in this case, but Anthony said there's an exemption.
I believe that's accurate. I don't have the entire act in front of me as I sit here now, but I believe that is accurate. And that ballots are not actually required for this type of action.
That's not what that's not what's happening.
And then also on the capital project, let's see. I have a list of capital projects that are currently on board, and I want to give you a little history. So when I arrived personally 3 years ago, I took a really hard look at all of the infrastructure that needed to be addressed, all the repairs, all the improvements, especially at the wastewater plant, especially with upcoming regulations related to water treatment. You've gotten your chromium notices. You know that we're in an adjudicated basin, and you know we have to maintain water supply for the residents. So I have a list of a lot of projects. I can read them, or I can provide that to you afterwards. But we have, not only do we have a lot of projects planned, but we have a lot of projects that are currently actually being implemented. And if you go back to Anthony's presentation and some of the slides that he has, it shows these next 2 years that we have significant capital project expenditures. And so the strategy is we're tapping the reserves that were built up over the last 5 years, that rate over the last 5 years. We're using those capital expenditures because they're readily available because the board took that action. And we're planning to replenish those with this rate study. We're actually replenishing those reserves so that we're not in this situation again. And I looked at the rates, the last time this action was taken, and the rates were pretty significant. There were 10% increases every year. So we worked pretty hard to try to get to, rates neutral. You know, only looking at, CPI, because things, you know, prices go up just because of cost of money or interest, they go up. So we've tried very hard to do that, and I think, I really commend RDN and Anthony for the work that they did, because, I think we worked pretty hard to try and keep your rates where they're at and not increase them. So, as it relates to, the sewer and the water, you have to look at, sewer and water on your bills. There's the fixed portion that Anthony talked about. So before they were on the property taxes, you were getting charged that total amount. And I think yours was 1301.20. Yeah, 1301.28.
Payments.
Yeah, so
Last year.
so you would have seen $100 plus whatever bills you get this month. If those are actually monthly payments.
Yeah,
It just gets split in that fashion, so that's the reason why it's done that way. Anything else you want to add?
Couple comments by Vice President Wood.
Yeah, I would like to address this, and because I've lived here for 34 years. And I was here when we discussed putting on property tax. And the thing is that I want to put one thing to rest. The pandemic had nothing to do with it.
Right.
It was not, it was, what had happened was, is that we would bill the service fee on your monthly bill. And you folks out here that pay your bill every month, you're not the problem. What the problem was is that we would have a lot of homes that would sit empty. And therefore, no water bill going to that property while it's sitting empty. In addition to the delinquencies that we would have. In total, what it is that we were losing about, I think it was about $190,000 a year in lost revenue. And that was lost revenue to keep the system going. That's what the base service charge pays for, is it pays for the maintenance and upkeep of the system and the upgrades to the system. And so what would happen is, if we're losing $150,000, $200,000 a year, then we got to turn around and put it on you folks, the responsible ones that are paying the bill every month, to make up the shortfall. So we felt that the most equitable way to do this would be put the base rates on the property tax. You're paying that regardless whether it's on your property tax or whether it's in a monthly bill. But it means on the property tax, every property is going to pay that base charge. So you guys were getting full funding for that. And you don't have to make up the shortfalls anymore. That's why instead of having 10% increases like there was in the past, we're getting this into more reasonable territory. And I wanted to share something with you and kind of throw the percentages out the door. Okay, let's just talk apples to apples and oranges to oranges. Right now, you are paying $42.66 a month on your property tax for your water. By fiscal year 2031, it is going to be $51.20. That means over the next 5 years, that bill is going to go up $8.63 a month from what you're paying now. Your sewer, you are currently paying $65.78 per month. And at the fiscal year 2031, it's going to be $69.55. That's an increase over the next 5 years of a total amount of $3.77 a month over what you're currently paying. And because it's on your property tax, that's the reason you're seeing such a low amount over the next 5 years per month that you're gonna end up paying in 5 years from now. If we didn't have it on your property tax, that number I can guarantee you would be a lot higher because you would be subsidizing all the money, the revenue that we're losing by delinquencies and by, having empty homes that are benefiting from the system, but not contributing to the upkeep of the system. And now the only delinquencies we have that we have to deal with collecting is on the monthly usage. So people that use $100 worth of water and they don't pay their bill, okay, now we go after them for the non-payment of the usage of the water and usage of the sewer, but you are no longer having to subsidize those delinquencies because the property tax is being billed and then that property is paying that service charge and it's actually keeping your rates down. And I just wanted to put that out there to clear up any kind of misconception about why it ended up on the property tax. It was done for your benefit. I'm a ratepayer too, and it was done for my benefit as well. And so anybody that lives here, having it on the property tax, you're not paying 1 cent more than you would be paying as it was on your monthly bill. But the point is that now everybody's paying it and not just you folks. Thank you.
When was that decision and determination made prior to the notice being sent out to us?
Pardon me, I couldn't hear you.
When was that decision, the board's decision to add it to the property tax bill made?
Oh, gosh.
I think it was 2 different times, because remember, we had it first and then the board removed it. So
Yeah,
you
I-
probably have to research it for you to get the exact dates. But can I make a follow-up to a comment on this here? When this came up, someone kind of said that we don't hear the community. We do, because everything that we vote for up here, we pay the same numbers. We don't get discounted or anything. So if we vote an increase, we pay the increase just like everyone else. Part one. I raised 5 kids in this community, so I know about water use, sewer use. But the other thing I will tell you is that someone commented about the people that have been on the board, and we've got a few changes. But when we looked at this that first time, because there were 2 separate times, we were looking at $500,000 lost revenue from the sewer side that we couldn't go back. We had no way of going back and getting it. So that's what we asked for. But the thing I would like to share with the community is that when we look at the numbers, we don't look at the numbers. The first slide I think he had there, the first slide said, where was it at? Public agencies can't make a profit. So numbers we look at, it's working numbers to pay fees, to pay salaries, and the general manager is here. And I guarantee that if you have a question, you could call him up, him or staff will try to work you through it. So I want the community to know that, first of all, we hear you. And number 2, any number that you folks see, we're seeing the same numbers. And the other side of it is that the numbers do go up, but everything associated with that number, to have that number, goes up. We pay, when we do open a hole out here to put in a pipe, we're either paying prevailing wage numbers or we're paying staff to do the job. So either way it goes, we have to pay. When we buy pipe, same pipe DWP buys, we may buy less, but we're paying the same price. And then someone commented on the hookups, and we were looking at some of the different communities. You start looking at the number of the communities. More people paying may equal less number. I don't know what I do know is that any numbers you see, it's not so we can make extra money. And I think someone asked about all that COVID type stuff. There was a lot of going on during COVID, but when we were here during COVID, the only thing that possibly changed is when we voted on that, but everything else, you can ask the general manager, his assistant, or the assistant GM, make an appointment with them and ask the questions. We should never show up at a meeting mad or frustrated. We should show up to fact find like you're doing now. Because when the gentleman commented, we had those meetings when the sheriffs were here, people were out the door. That's not a good reflection of a community concern. this is a community concern, and I appreciate the fact you folks took time to bring your concerns to our attention. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Mr. President.
Director Glenn, did you have any comments?
Just one, those who complained about the, connection fees onto the taxes are people who owned homes that they rented or apartments. They weren't paying it. The person that was renting the home was paying it. Then it went to the homeowners. Now the homeowners had to pay it. And so obviously they would do what? Raise their rents, but those are the ones, a fellow stood here, he had 17 apartments. He was telling us how much it would cost him. Because now he had to pay it instead of the person renting the apartment. And so to some degree, the businessmen had to pay the freight, where before the homeowner was the only one that was paying the freight. You understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? I have two homes. One of them I rent. I pay the fee now on that home and my rental home. Before that, I didn't pay the connection fee on my rental home. Who did? The person renting my home. When we changed that, I changed their rent to compensate for that. So it's not an increase at all to the homeowner. It was an increase to the investor who has a number of homes or a number of apartments.
All right. Any comments, Director Hernandez?
No, but I do want to add that we're all residents just like you, so we commend you guys for showing up, and we are doing everything in your best interest because it's our best interest as well.
You know, I also want to thank everybody for coming out and giving us your thoughts on this. And you know, I've been here a long time, and I will always listen to what you have to say, and always try to find a solution if I can. So thank you for your input.
Anything else from the public?
You haven't count yet on how many protests are.
Are we gonna get to that?
Yeah, but
Yeah, we're about to get to that now. I just thought maybe you had some more comments. Anything else?
I'm so frustrated with the 5% increase over 5 years. My math shows the fixed water rate. I'm talking about this year, starting in the current year to the end of the 5 years, about 20%.
Over 5 years.
No, over 6 years.
6 years.
Counting this current year.
They come in and check it out with somebody who.
Our rates are only $711 a year, which we're gonna go up by 2031 to $614. That's 20%.
Okay, at this time, we'll close the public hearing. I need to give you a time.
We've already done that.
Okay.
The hearing was closed at 6:45.
Okay, at this time, we'll count the number of protests.
one,
Two, I'm gonna pick up recess while we count it.
three,
And,
four.
Kim, I think we'll take a 5-minute recess.
We got it.
Okay, let's take a 5-minute recess.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. President, we were total 6 protests, and it falls short of the 50% plus 1.
All right. Okay, we'll take a roll call vote on adoption of resolution number 2026-02, establishing rates for water service fees. Can I get a roll call vote?
You need a motion and a second.
Oh, I'm sorry, motion to adopt resolution number 2026-02, establishing rates for water service fees.
Motion to adopt and approve, sir.
Motion by Director Webb,
Second.
second by Director Glennon. Discussion? No discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Yes, sir. Director Jose Hernandez Jr.,
Yes.
Director Byron Glennon,
Yes.
Director Rick Webb,
Yes.
Vice President Greg Wood,
Yes,
President Gregory Washington.
Yes. Resolution passes 5-0. Okay, adopt resolution number 2026-03, establishing rates for the sewer service fees.
Mr. President, we have one edit that needs to happen to the resolution that was not picked up. There is a limit to the maximum HCF that can be charged for residential, unit. So I'm gonna add the word, on
HCF.
page 2 of the resolution, the second paragraph, where it starts number 3, the HCF charge. You see that? I don't know if you see it, but if you don't see it, that's fine. We're gonna add, it's gonna read this way: the HCF charge component of the rate structure will then be determined on the basis of each individual residential customer's water usage during those 2 months, referring to the previous paragraph, of the lowest average months during the winter months. We're adding this verbiage: with a monthly maximum not to exceed 20 HCF per residential unit. That's the end of the edit, and multiplied by the usage charge.
Did you guys get that?
It'll be reflected in the document that you execute.
Okay?
Can you explain that to us?
Yes, absolutely. So, the way the resolution was originally, provided to the board did not have the limitation on in other words, if you, in the winter months, for whatever reason, you use an average of 25 HCF during the winter months, that's how the sewer is determined. You take the winter average. Well, there's a limitation in the rate study that limits that to 20. So even though you may use more, it's only 20. It can only be as high as 20.
And that's billed through all the months, but just for those 2.
Correct. That's
That's the
assuming.
way I remember it, but I
Yes.
looked at my water bill this time and I guess my average low rate must have been 7 units in December.
Yeah.
I guess it really depends on the amount,
Yes, absolutely.
So it's not automatic for everybody the same amount.
No, it is not.
Based on usage.
Just based on your actual usage.
How do you measure the sewage usage?
So that's the assumption. The assumption is that during the winter months, you're doing the least amount of irrigation. So therefore, and that's the wettest month. So therefore, the lowest 2 months of that time period, the lowest 2 months is what we assume that's your sewer usage.
So like my $9 currently, because of the winter months, so that's like my $9 of.
So
of-
all I'm adding, yes, correct. So all I'm adding to the resolution is that we're limiting that amount to 20 regardless. It's not 20 for everybody, but
Right.
limited.
No, my question is,
And that would be,
the sewage usage is just when you use the toilet and the shower, right?
Correct.
So if you only take 1 shower a day, that should be nothing.
it's actually anything that goes down your drain.
yeah, so that
That's your
would be like
kitchen
the washing
sink, your
machine,
bathroom sink, your
garbage disposal.
washing machine, anything that goes down the drain
So
goes in the
that's
sewer.
sewer. And that's,
If they look more, I get it.
so that's the water and sewer combined, right? Is for.
Since we don't have meters on your sewer, that's our best.
Your guesstimate.
Your
Our
guesstimate.
bet,
It,
yeah.
it does say that in the letter that went out.
Okay, perfect,
It says 20.
perfect. And we're just correcting the document they're taking action.
Oh, it doesn't.
Do you have anything to add, Assistant Jim?
I didn't know.
Anything to add? Okay. Okay, adoption Adopt resolution number 2026-3, establishing rates for sewer service fees. Motion by Vice President Wood,
Second.
second by Director Glennon. Discussion? Okay, let's do a roll call vote, please.
Director Jose Hernandez Jr.,
Yes.
Director Byron Glennon,
Yes.
Director Rick Webb,
Yes,
Vice President Greg Wood,
Yes,
President Gregory Washington.
Yes. Okay, resolution passes 5-0. New business one, identify low bidder and award contract to Lyles Construction Company for the sludge dewatering project. Presenter is Kim Domingo.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the result of the bid that was opened on April 1st. And we have the construction contracts. Ready for execution, but the first thing you need to do is identify WM Lyles as the low bidder. You see the table in front of you on the staff report. The bids range from 3.3 million to 2.7 million. And we had 6 contractors that were very tightly amongst each other. We are very pleased, if I might add, to have WM Lyles as our contractor. They're a very top-notch company, and we're very privileged to have them as the low bid. The recommendation is that you identify them as low bid and award the contract to them.
Motion to identify low bidder and award contract to Lyles Construction Company for the sludge dewatering project. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Director Hernandez,
second, sir.
second by Director Webb. Discussion.
Yeah, 2 things real quick. Total cost, they were the 2.7 million company,
Yes,
okay? And 2.7 million. And then what kind of time, did they give you some kind of timeline?
yes, so it's the piece of equipment, the screw press is, man, I'm gonna get this wrong, no, but it's a 10-month lead time. So we've given them 18 months to finish the project.
So they have to build it out for a particular site, or is it one that they have to?
These pieces of equipment don't sit on a shelf.
Okay, that's what I'm saying, they have to build it.
Yes.
Okay, and so 18 months, okay.
yes, and I would like to concur with our general manager that we're very fortunate to have Lyles Construction Company doing this work. Before I retired, I had a lot of dealings with Lyles Construction, and I've had a lot of dealings with a lot of contractors, and these guys are top notch. And where it's kind of a deal where change orders are kind of the order of the day when it comes to public contracts, but I know for a fact that dealt with them on a very large municipal contract, and they would see something wrong in the design and they would bring it to our attention and we could get the changes made, and they never had to submit a change order for it. It was just basically relocating some things or changing some measurements or things of that nature. And they are just really good to work with, and it's really good for this agency to have them.
Thank you for that comment, Director. And I will just caution you that every job is different, everything, so
That's true.
yes, so. We're excited to have them, but I can't promise there won't be change orders.
Well, I figure there could be, but I'm just saying, my experience with them, they were very proactive and
Yes.
easy to work with.
Yes.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? New business moves 5-0. Change orders, huh? I'm talking about change orders. New business 2, approve change order number 6 to the construction contract for West Valley Construction for the Arsenic Consolidation Phase 1 project. Presenter is Kim Domingo.
Thank you, Mr. President. This change order number 6, it's related to the arsenic consolidation project phase 1 that connected Desert Breeze Mobile Home Park, Roseman Mobile Home Park, and Roseville Apartments to the system. They're currently connected. This is the final change order, and it kind of cleans up all the kind of loose ends on the project, including extending their time for completion. This is all grant refunded project. This is all funded by the state. So we pay or the state pays for a construction manager that recommended approval of this change order. They've done their negotiation with the contractor. And so it's brought to you for your approval because that's the policy.
What was the dollar value?
Dollar amount for this change order is $22,050.28 for a total contract value of $1,606,721.84.
And all that was for the state funding.
It's all being reimbursed by the state, absolutely.
Okay, motion to approve.
Motion approved, sir.
Second. Motion, that's quick, by Director Webb, second by
I've been working on this one a long time.
Yes, we have. Gotta put it to sleep, put it to bed.
Any discussion? No discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Measure moves 5-0. New business 3, real property surplus declaration, APN 258-074-19. The presenter is Kim Domingo.
Thank you, Mr. President. This property is the old community center property on Diamond Street. This is 2645 Diamond Street. We have not used that since the district no longer did parks anymore. So it has been sitting vacant and has been vandalized and has homeless people breaking into it, and has been actually a very difficult to maintain and to keep in order. The staff is interested in giving this up as surplus property. That's our recommendation to you, so that it becomes available for sale. We have to go through the Surplus Land Act, but the first thing you have to do is identify it as and declare it as surplus. So the recommendation tonight is for you to do that, and then authorize us to give an appraisal, because that will be the first step in following the adopted district policy for Surplus Land Act requirements.
Do you want to add anything, Assistant GM? Okay. Real property surplus declaration, APN 258.
May I ask a question, or you want me to do it after the motion or before on the? After, yeah.
Okay, motion to approve real property surplus declaration.
Second.
VP Wood, second. Director Webb. Discussion, Director Webb.
The lot next to it, are we gonna put that in with it?
Yes.
Okay, so it's gonna be the building and the lot.
That's true. That's true. We may have to come back to you for that declaration as well, but what this will allow us to get the appraisal.
Okay, I'm just saying that's kind of, I think it makes it more desirable to package.
These are attached.
The lot next between the old real estate office and that.
Next door.
Yes.
Okay,
So, yes, we will have to bring that,
Okay.
the lot to you as well.
Gotcha,
Because
okay.
that would make sense.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Because it just makes it a better package or
Oh,
something.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That was my question too.
Well, great minds sometimes think alike, sir.
That's true.
Okay, all in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right. Can I applaud after this one? Thank you, finally, yes. New business 4, disposal of surplus equipment. Presenter Kim Domingo.
Thank you, Mr. President. There's a list of equipment and both vehicles and pumps and blowers, aerators. There's a lot of items that we would like to surplus to one of two ways. We'll put them up for auction on an identified site, public surplus. It's called public surplus. That'll be our method of disposal. If we get no takers, then we will then junk them or take them for recycling. Yes, thank you.
Why don't we take the tractor out there to the bash 'em up thing? Tractor works well out there. You know, they used to have the construction derby.
Demolition derby.
The demolition, take the tractor out there, sir. Justify.
But you have to declare surplus first,
Yeah.
which is your action tonight.
And the Vector truck, we got 2 for 1 on it, sir.
If you can get it started, sir.
Can we hook the tractor to it and pull it to the race? Okay.
That auction site, is that the Clinton County auction site?
No, it's a public surplus site that only, municipalities or special districts are allowed to post on, but anybody can create an account and purchase from it.
Okay,
So, if you go on there, it's, publicsurplus.com, and, they have stuff from all over the United States.
okay, yeah, because I know that Kern County, you know, with all their vehicles and all their, because they have their public auctions. So I didn't know if it was gonna be a part of the Kern County auction or if it was something different.
Something different.
Okay, motion to approve disposal of surplus equipment. Motion by VP Woods,
second.
second by Director Hernandez. Discussion. What type of pump?
It's a
Centrifugal?
bypass pump.
Oh.
To be blunt with it, it's a 6-inch bypass pump, and our crew's been working on it for quite a long time, multiple years. They've even called out to even the manufacturer, and their words were, we would do exactly the same thing you would do, and it's not working, so it's time to pass it on.
Okay. So it's not like that 1961 Craftsman table saw.
Every time it reaches this point.
Yeah, it is given up. Is as is on the public surplus site.
Why don't we weld it to the tractor? Okay. I make a motion. Oh, we already have.
You already made a motion. Yeah.
Oh, we're done.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Moves 5-0. New business 5, disposal of surplus equipment, e-waste in particular. Presenter is Kim Domingo.
Thank you, Mr. President. In your staff report, there's a long list of electronic equipment, most of them desktops that have a book value of 0. And we need your action to declare them surplus so they can be properly disposed of and recycled.
Don't move. Okay, motion of surplus equipment by Director Glennon,
Second.
second by Director Hernandez. Any discussion?
Can those laptops be donated to like the schools, elementary schools, high schools? And can they be donated?
Well, because they have public records on them and things like that,
You'd have to bleach them out and you'd have to erase.
we actually
the drive
destroy
and
the hard drives.
which do-
Destroy the hard drives. Yep.
Let's put them on the tractor.
They recyclable?
Yes, we're gonna recycle that.
Webinar from yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, I asked.
It's okay.
But you will have them.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That moves 5-0. Okay, directors' reports, comments, committee reports, future agenda items. I'll start with you, Director Webb.
Okay, sure, thank you. Few things going on. I was up in Sacramento last week? Anyway, I was up there legislative days. I've encouraged the other directors, if you have a chance to attend. Unfortunately, Tom Mackey and Ellis, the guy from the other side of Kern, one's termed out, one's retiring, but the fact they were both good to us as far as communication. And I will compliment these guys. They know about what's going on in our region. They're up to speed on it. But anyway, so we did that. Thank you, district, for letting me go because I did get inside. I gave the GM the book that had all the new laws that kind of apply to us. And did you try the QR code? Does that work or did you?
I haven't tried it.
It's a QR code in the book. So if you guys maybe want to just look at the laws when you have nothing else to do with your life, you can look at the GM's copy. I gave him a copy and you can look at it, which was interesting. Now, here's something that I thought was very interesting to me. I learned from the RMAC meeting. Now, the other folks have left.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to guess? Oh, she's still, there we go. She's there too. Does anyone want to guess what is the legal limit for a person under 21 years old? The legal limit that their blood level can be?
Alcohol?
Zero.
0.0.
There you go. And I'll tell you why that's interesting. I retired from law enforcement. I never arrested a kid under the influence, but kids now are drinking real heavily or whatever out there. And you always think with everything being kind of loosey-goosey-ish, that there would have been a different number, but it's right. Congrats on the people that had it. So that was very interesting. They also, the CHP gave a presentation. They said that if you're cited for going 100 miles an hour, CHP is going to give you the ticket, which is not going to be cheap, but DWP has administrative court where they go after your license, period. So I thought that was interesting.
They're no longer confiscating the vehicle if you're for excessive speed.
That part, he didn't elaborate, but that's enough. That scared me. Les from Red Cross said on the 28th of May, Mojave High School is going to be having a blood drive. The 28th of May, they'll be having a blood drive. The Chamber of Commerce, and this meeting was yesterday, they're starting their planning for the Armed Forces Day Parade. If anyone's interested in it. I'm trying to see these notes here. And they, here's one that was interesting from just a pure speed, since we're all on the freeway and we have kids on the freeway, family on the freeway. I want to say the year was 2024, so please don't quote the year, you can look it up. 12,400 deaths for people driving DUI. 12,400.
You're in Kern County or the state?
The country.
State.
Okay, oh, the country, okay.
That's a lot of bodies. Okay, so that's kind of not great news, but type thing. But the CHP gave a good presentation on it. I like some of the things you said. Now some updates. Pacific Steel, they were there and they gave a presentation and their plant's coming on. They said late summer of 2027 that they should be up and producing steel going out. And the one thing they said, this would be the cleanest steel operating plant in California, the nation, probably the world. So I thought that was real good, but that's a good thing. And then the team from the Plaza going in at 35th, I got down here, this note says by the summer of 2027, they should be open and running. And the lady Tina, she's the principal there, decent people. They want us to have this to meet our needs. So if you ever meet Tina, and the guy's name is Alan, Mr. Jim, Alan is one of the guys, you know, the real estate guy, Eric. And who's the other guy, the planner?
Oh, you're talking about Max.
Max, yeah.
Sarah?
Tina, Max, and Eric. They're a pretty good team, but it looks like we're going to be okay with this here because that's going to spur more interest. And like I said it when I was at the RMAC meeting, think about this. Pacific Steel, Hydro Store, the shopping center, we had that other solar place in the gold mine in the last 5 years in our community.
Did they say when they were gonna break ground on?
They're waiting for AT&T to move the light poles.
Oh, God.
Yeah, right, they'll never happen when hell throws over.
AT&T to bury them, okay?
Well, yeah, no, well, we believe in this district dealt with AT&T for a moment, but anyway, yeah.
Did I hear gas station 76?
76
Property or?
Yeah, 76 gas station, a coffee bean, a coffee shop,
Medical facility.
a medical center, and there's some small businesses inside there, so we're being good way. And, the Sacramento trip was fun. One thing, folks, when you go to Sacramento, just be prepared for the game. So I want to tell you, because everybody got an interest up there, everybody. But anyway, thank you very much. That's what I have, sir.
All right, I got a chance to watch the RMAC video and you covered everything. You got it all. Good report. Director Hernandez. No, okay. Vice President Wood?
Yeah, not to step on Byron's toes, so
I was saving the best for last.
is, I know Byron has something to add to this. Anyhow, I attended the ACWA webinar yesterday, and it was on vision for our water future. And Byron is on the Aqua board. I'm just a lowly committee member. But it was basically, it's a four-pronged deal of to be the lead on water, protect affordability, and deliver critical infrastructure and modernize water management. And I'll be brief on this, but essentially what it is, they're watching the gubernatorial election and trying to get a game plan together because they want to have some influence from all of the water agencies that are members of Aqua to address these things. And the two main things that they were focusing on is trying to get regulatory issues streamlined and also address our aging infrastructure to be prepared for the future. And one thing that they are going to be asking every agency to do, and that is to pass a resolution. They have a draft resolution written of support provision for our water future. They want to be ready to hit the ground running when the new governor takes office. They want to try to get, have an influence or say for getting people that are very proactive in the water field appointed to various boards and commissions at the state level to, to have a say into what they would like to see, the direction that Aqua would like to see our water future progress. And with that, I will hand off to Director Glennon, because I know he's got some things to bring up on this as well.
I would add very clearly, they're really hoping for a governor who will favor water over environment. Okay, they should go together, but they don't. There's a fight, and environment has always won in the last few years, and they're hoping maybe that the water will with the right governor and the right congressman, will have a little different future for the next 4 years. A couple, I think it was last year, that I had to, at an Aqua thing, that we got an award for our involvement in turning in letters and appreciation.
Right.
And so Kim has been doing that, and I imagine you'll give him another one. And he said, all it can be is the fact that we send in a letter of support for whatever we're engaging, whatever they're doing. But apparently, a lot of water districts don't do that. And of course, the more letters, even though it's a form letter, the more letters that come from different water agencies, that's more votes. Anyway, it does have the sample letter there, and I think you've done it in the past without us even asking you, because you get the same information too.
What I, just for clarification, I usually, ask the board president if it'd be appropriate. And then what I do is I report out at the next meeting that we did participate.
That letter of recommendation, yeah. Sherry, Greg, I see he kept the whole thing. I just watched it. I didn't record it. Keep it.
Is that letter something that the community can support you guys in as well? That if the community also supported you in supporting them, is that something that?
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt at all. Yeah. And, there, all you probably have to do is modify the form letter of saying you're just a customer, you know, of a community service district.
And then attach it to the water bills?
No. You'd have to send this.
Just like electronic attachment
Yeah, you can-
on the water bills,
Yeah.
and that person could have the choice
Yeah.
as to whether or not they wanna do it.
Yeah.
And then they could, when they mail back, or, I'll drop off, their bills, you have it all, and then you can send it all with you. Sorry.
I saw a little something about a Senate bill. We talked a little bit about to tweak. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
I've been in so many community meetings the last couple of weeks, can't remember which Senate bill.
It had something to do with our water conservation goals. I believe, Water Agency introduced a Senate bill to kind of tweak some of the goals that our governor had in place.
Are you talking about you must be talking about, President Washington, you must be talking about the conservation as a way of life,
That's what I'm talking about.
legislation that's going to require everybody to be on a water budget. And when you talk about tweaking the numbers, it's really, reflection of the data they received over I think they were actually in the outfit that was collecting all the data was actually in Roseman, and they were able to deploy, I think there were around 70 devices, and then they collected all that data statewide, just to see what the actual average usage was, and it looked like that trended a little bit up, so they may be making adjustments up, but who knows?
About it, huh?
Who knows?
Yeah, okay. Is there anything else you had, Director Glennon?
Nope.
That's it. I didn't have anything, just want to comment on, acknowledge, Administrative Professional Day to you, Sherry, and your staff. I want to thank you for, all the great work you do in the community.
Seriously, thank you guys, for the last 2 days, you were awesome and perfect, and I appreciate it.
Thank you for saying so.
All right, appreciate that.
Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you.
Great. Okay. General Counsel update, Mr. Komar.
Nothing to add at the end of this one, folks.
Okay. General Manager update, Mr. Kim Domingo.
You will be surprised, I have nothing else to add.
Take care of that problem, huh?
You're throwing it all on Ben. Assistant General Manager update.
I'm going along with him.
Oh boy, we're on a roll here. Okay, Director of Administration update, Ms. Sherry Tim.
Thank you, I do have something to say. So during the month of April, we had 81 door hangers that were delivered, notifying account holders of pending shut-off for non-payment. Late fees in the amount of $4,016.17 were charged to 736 accounts this month for delinquencies. And the next Red Cross blood drive here at the district is scheduled for June 25th from noon until 6 p.m. And if there's no questions, that is the end of my report.
Question? I'm sorry, when I was going online in order to get a copy of the financial statement, right? And so I did everything I was supposed to do, and you click on that link where, you can request the documents, to do the final, but it wouldn't allow you to go any further than that. That's when I contacted Arturo, and I came in first because I couldn't get it. So I came in the next day, and then that's when Arturo worked with me so that we could get it going together. And I went home, that's when we ordered it, and I went home and we communicated on the phone. I tried it again and I couldn't do it. I contacted Arturo, and there's that little tab. There's one tab down here that doesn't allow you to do squat. It's like you need to print it out, but it doesn't say that you need to print it out in order to fill it out and turn it in. It doesn't have any of that information. But on the far right-hand side, there's that little option over there where you can actually download the form and fill it out. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention that it was a mouse and a cheese, maze trying to get one document.
Actually,
And
I can be, if you want, we can meet with, the people that maintain our website and we can walk through the problems and he can. We can adjust them.
I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And, yeah, and,
If you're having that problem, there might be others, so
Yeah.
other than it, we can have you talk with our folks that,
not a problem, but Arturo and I had a little chat about it, and it's, so fun. He's a sweetheart.
he does.
But just to make it easier, because I'm computer proficient. But I'm thinking of some of the other individuals who don't have the knowledge that I do as to how to work it. I still have to ask.
Yeah, okay.
Because
Thanks
I,
for bringing that up.
okay, perfect. Did I come in at the right time? Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. President, before we adjourn, I have one last final request. Mr. Jam, we need a line on the budget for our RCSD golf team. So I'm gonna say.
Uh-oh.
You don't view
You
me.
gave me that look, sir.
Let the record reflect I gave him a look.
We don't have any miniature golf courses in Trinity.
Uh-oh.
Right, we begin.
There you go.
That window always gets me.
Sherry, did you have anything else?
No, sir.
Just wanted to thank you for having Arturo wear not only two hats tonight, but a shirt and a tie as well. So thank you for having him out here tonight. Appreciate it. Public Works update, John Houghton.
John Mountain is not with us tonight, but I can answer any questions you may have. Or I'll do my best at least. I will mention, if you'll notice the front page of your Public Works report there has been a considerable increase in service line leaks.
Yes,
It is par for the course for this time of year. As it heats up, more water usage happens. We have to turn on the second well or I should call it the right name, well number 8, to keep up with demand. So this is the time that these leaks start showing up. Staff is doing an amazing job staying on top of them and getting these addressed. Any other questions regarding the Works report?
yeah, real quick. I'm looking at these addresses here.
Yes.
Are all of these, are some of these clustered in the same area?
Yes.
Remember we were talking about the preventative maintenance for going into certain areas and putting pipe in are any of these areas falling into that cluster?
No, the CIP project, which is starting in the next two weeks for the service line, is neighboring to a couple of these. I will say Richland, you'll see Richland on there.
Yes.
Staff is doing a complete service line change out in-house, which would kind of mirror what the project is in the neighboring streets, but no.
So one last question, because I know this is you guys, but when we put in a new line, does that create more pressure on the older lines in that vein or whatever?
No.
So, okay, so the new line, because it's all back to the doesn't put on to,
Yeah, we're just putting a new service line in from the main to the house.
okay, all right, gotcha, thank you.
It's a nice scenic view of Roseman from on top of the tank. Tank inspection.
This is tank 4,
Tank 4.
which is up off of United, at the top of United.
So it appears you had divers in doing some inspection work. Did you have to get it down to a certain elevation or?
I'm sorry, say it
Just
again?
curious. Did you have to get the tank level down to a certain elevation
They
for
actually
them?
like it full. They like it full.
They like it
It's
full.
great because then we're not having to take the tank out of service to do it. The equipment they use is all treated and clean, so it's actually pretty impressive.
They're treated and clean.
And they're treated and clean, yeah. So,
That would be scary to die, because that's all dark inside there, huh?
correct. I've watched videos of it in the past and it takes a special person to jump into a million-gallon tank and swim around.
Just swim around in there.
Feel around.
Can't feel the wall.
I've been in a tank, 18 feet of water in a little rowboat with
They
some
have lights though, don't
strange metallurgy guy with a flashlight.
they? It's sewer, that's the, you know.
But yeah, it's
we had our,
creepy.
you know, when we went
But
down
they
to
love to
sewer, we had
dive.
our-
It's divers, they
Yeah, they're
dive.
the ones
Except for
that
sewer cleans.
fun stuff.
Okay, that's all you have?
Unless you guys have any questions about the public works report.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, I think that's everything. We'll adjourn at 7:54.